Fukushima was a very, very well-maintained facility. It was overbuilt. It was tougher than it had to be. It's a long story. The Mark I containment, which is, it's been it's received a lot of ridicule over this because it is an underbuilt containment. But you didn't have to have the Mark I containment built to spec. You could have it overbuilt, and Fukushima was one of those facilities. Now we have to get on to the other lie associated with the Fukushima and the Japan disaster, and it was the earthquake. If you click on number 3, you'll see the seismic reading from station MYG-004. MYG-004 it's one of many stations in Japan. They've got all kinds of earthquake monitoring stations all over that country because it's like Earthquake Central. And so when this quake happened, they got a really, really good recording of what was going on. Station MYG-004 was closest to the epicenter of the earthquake, according to Japan's own data, and yet our media is telling us this story about the epicenter being out in the ocean. The seismic data does not support that at all. Even the U.S. Geological Survey is supporting the 9.0 and the epicenter out in the ocean. But the top ground acceleration measured during the earthquake was registered at MYG-004, and it was a seismic intensity of 6.67, which means that there was no 9.0. And if you look at the tsunami videos of the tsunami coming in, it's obvious that the tsunami is coming in and destroying pristine cities that never got hit by anything. You cannot find earthquake damage anywhere.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. When they do show it coming in, what's good here is that the information you're presenting is kind of hidden in plain sight, and when you take a step back and say, "Here, look at this," you go, "Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a good point." So on.
If you look at MYG-011. You can see that it has a really sharp spike, and that means that the sharp spike, in contrast with the seismic intensity being the highest, means that this station was closest to the epicenter. There were 3 different epicenters in this quake spread out across the backbone of Japan. So we have 3 separate seismic events going on here. Well, how can that happen? And I was like, how do you get 3 separate seismic events that are all small? And then the nuke, the tsunami worthy of a 9.0, when there's no damage anywhere in the country. If you look at the earthquake photos, you're not going to find a single downed bridge or skyscraper or anything. There's just nothing got wrecked. And Sendai, is a city where they should have gotten at least an 8.5 to an 8.6 or 7's worth of shaking. And nothing happened there. There's just nothing that happened there. The only thing they got was a tsunami. So this whole thing is really suspicious. So what we have here is the 9.0 that I've got marked out in the water. That is where the official earthquake happened, as far as, basically the phony 9.0. What I have here is a distance marked off in miles to the nearest seismic station on Japan's mainland, which is 24 miles. 24 miles away from this 9.0, they got a reading of a 5.63, which is impossible. And the Japanese, I don't know why they're going along with this, but they are saying that it's a 9.0. If you go to their site, I've got the original site listed. But when you look down at the very, very bottom, after you translate it, they're saying this earthquake was a 6.8. But officially, they're saying it's a 9.0. So it's like they've got a gun to their head. They are being told to stay quiet about this. But their seismologists are putting in the graphs and putting in the charts the truth, and they are just hoping that they were hoping for someone to figure out that there is something wrong, that this was an ambush, that it was an attack of some sort, it was a military operation, and the numbers show it, and the pictures show it. All the evidence is weighing against the official story when you actually look what's out there. People don't really get a feel for how big a 9.1 is and how the Richter scale actually works.